Welcome to the podcast from the St. Louis Sportists, an occasionally smart, always irreverent look at sports in St. Louis and beyond. And now, your St. Louis Sportists.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the St. Louis Sportists podcast. My name is Ron Cook, and I am joined by Tom Mathis.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
And April Sechting from Austin, Texas. How are you, April?
New phone, who dis? Here I am.
And Keith Farrell in the Thunderdome. How are you, sir?
Fantastic. Cheers, everybody.
In this episode, major test for the University of Missouri-Columbia this weekend as the Tide rolls into town. Also a major test for the Fighting Illini of Illinois as the Buckeyes come calling to Champaign. The Kansas City Chiefs go to Jacksonville and get Duval'd. And we have the St. Louis Blues season preview in our traditional 20 questions. The St. Louis Sportists are brought to you by First Coast Steel Buildings. Jason and his team will take your project from design to completion with a family-first approach. Learn more at firstcoaststeel.com, and we'll hear more from them later in the show. Tonight's last call is brought to you by Black Dog Consulting, LLC. They're here to help the one truck owner and the small fleet owner to grow and prosper. Contact Dave Reinhardt at 417-217-9622. Black Dog Consulting, helping you retrieve bigger profits. Tommy, did you tell two friends last week?
I did.
Okay. Well, that's outstanding.
Yep.
You know, judging from the numbers, it looks like lots of people told two friends, Keith.
Yeah, I heard. I told probably 6. I have a small group that I talked to.
That's excellent.
And yeah, it's good stuff.
All right. Well, so we appreciate your support on that. We're on X, Facebook, Blue Sky, and the Gram. And our website is stlsportists.com. With that, it is time for quick hits. Tom Mathis, what do you have?
I know we're going to discuss this in a minute, but the Missouri-Alabama game is the biggest game at Faurot Field, and I don't even remember when. It's been a long time, and all I can say is M-I-Z.
C-O-U.
Okay, let me try this one on for size. How about the Oklahoma game back about, the Thursday night one in the rain? Remember that one?
I do, and that was one of them that kind of...
one.
Yep. That was the one that came to my mind first.
Yeah, but it's way up there. Ms. Sechting, what do you have for us?
Well, I have a little thing called, gosh, what do I even call it? Well, I'll just dig in. Belichick and presumably his child bride have already been discussing buyout options with North Carolina, not even halfway through the season. And sounds like he's willing to go for his own $1 million buyout if he can find a soft landing somewhere else. One coach, unnamed source, has described it as the rats are leaving the ship. I expect a change pretty quickly. I like that. It's nice and visual here.
It paints a picture.
It does. It paints a picture. There's like serious recruiting violations under investigation still. Practice violations already proven. It's I'd like to say it's unexpected, but Belichick going to Belichick.
I said to our buddy Frank Jacobs, he said, how can they do a recruiting violation? And I said I didn't know there were anything to violate at this point, but apparently there is.
Fair. That's fair. It's wide open, but I think it just makes the actual violations even more blatant now.
That's probably true.
Check. Standard.
For a guy who's tried to fly under the radar media-wise for the last decade, he has done so much damage and has hit so many, so many flares out there. that it's unbelievable. I mean, when's the last time we've seen something like this? I mean, you really can't. I mean, who was that one coach that went to the NFL?
Urban.
Urban Meyer,
Mm-hmm.
that other guy, the guy down in who tried to coach at Washington. He went from the
Spurrier, Steve Spurrier.
Yeah, so those guys were train wrecks too. So.
Yeah, and
Spurrier was the visor, but I mean, Keith, the heart wants what the heart wants. I mean, what are you gonna do?
You can pull it off,
Mr. Farrell.
Oh yeah, my quick hitter, real simple. Is anyone watching the WNBA finals?
No,
me neither.
It's hard to dodge on ESPN, but but I'm successfully dodging it. Mine's going to be quick as well, and we love our baseball relocation potential, and we had heard that the Tampa Bay Rays were potentially going to be on the move, especially after their stadium was blowed up by the hurricane. But alas, the new ownership has come in, and they have announced that they are going to remain in Tampa. They intend to be back in Tropicana Field next year, and that they are looking for 100 acres that will support a new stadium with, tell me if this sounds familiar, bars, restaurants, an entertainment district around the stadium. I don't know where they get that idea. Go figure.
I wonder where they're going to get the people to fill up those restaurants.
Well, and where they can find 100 acres in Tampa, Ybor City. And so the stadium itself is going to be domed with a fixed roof. No retractable action for them down there. It rains too much. So they said they need a new ballpark. They want to build a sustainable championship team. And they are confident they can do that in Tampa. As they say at the end of, as one major network says at the end of their news releases, and we wish them well.
All right.
Yeah. So Tom Mathis, let's get into that MIZ Bama. Tom, I did have one stat I wanted to start you off with here because we like our statistics here. The University of Missouri-Columbia currently sits with a number 109 strength of schedule. That is the lowest in the SEC. The Missouri State Bears, who we have on screen one down here right now, strength of schedule 41.
Well, USC had a lot to do with that.
Well, yeah, and SMU, okay,
right.
But yeah. So is there? I guess the question is, as a Mizzou fan, do you have just a little bit of kind of, boy, I hope we're for real after not playing a ranked team and nothing but home games?
I mean, there is that, but I mean, all the SEC teams do this where they don't play any tough opponents right away, but a lot of them play one tough game beforehand, and then they in November they'll play somebody that's not in the Power 4 conference. So Mizzou just gets it out of the way early, makes their strength of schedule look a little bit worse. So it's not good right now, but after Saturday it'll be a lot better.
How concerned are you about the secondary when it comes to this passing attack from Bama, which is starting to all of a sudden look pretty dangerous?
That is a huge concern. Hopefully they work some kinks out over the bye week, and they fix a couple of the holes. The big thing they're going to have to do is run Ahmad Hardy and Jamal Roberts and keep the ball away from Alabama as much as they can.
Keith, do you think the keep away / running game for Mizzou is going to be what they need on offense?
Well, yeah, they're going to have to keep Alabama off the field. Naturally, I think the defense is going to have to just learn how to, not more, but slow them down and limit the possessions. And, we look at last year and Alabama just tore into them. And I think this is Mizzou's time. The last 3 years, they've had big games. Like, remember that Texas A&M game last year? It really just came down to one play, just turn that momentum around early in the first quarter. And then you look at 2 years ago against LSU. They have these big game pedigree. They just haven't done well. So this is the year, I think, a little bit of maturity. New quarterback. The coaching is there. This is going to be a fantastic game. I can't wait to see it, but I like the way Mizzou's kind of lining this thing up.
And an 11 a.m. start. And we'll get into our picks here in just a second, as April will lead us through those. Tom, the Illinois Fighting Illini, I think of the Buck Owens song. They have a tiger by the tail, except it's not a tiger, it's a Buckeye. They've got a challenge.
Yeah, and Ohio State, they like to run it up, so they're going to score as much as they can. It's going to be a tough game for the Illini. I don't know that they can keep up with them. It'll be an interesting game, but I think Ohio State will pull it out.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I had heard that blew me away, Keith, was the performance of the quarterback at Illinois. He has numbers up there with some of the Heisman candidates.
I'm just waiting until they get into the heart of the Big Ten season. I think it'll come back down. I'm not trying to be a pessimist, but listen, I watched that Indiana game and I had to turn it off because it was such a horrid, and my eyes were hurting after watching that game. So I don't put a whole lot of stock into Illinois with this matchup.
Yeah. This one could be a challenge. We'll go with that. April Sechting, deep in the heart of Texas, where they went to the swamp and found out that the Gators still have some teeth. I just came up with that, and I hate myself for it.
I'm glad. That's worthy. I really do. I think that you manufactured this opportunity for me to be on the podcast. Just kick the crap out of me on the Longhorns and the Chiefs. So that's why I dug into my Halloween box and got my blatant stab wound. I'm fine. I also did not choose a paper bag like the Cleveland Browns from, I don't know, this year. No, it was longer ago than that.
Pick a year.
Back to Texas. Back to dear old Texas. If you Google Arch Manning, if you go into AI mode, you Google Arch Manning, you start with, is Arch Manning? The top 3 things that came up for me were, is Arch Manning good? Is Arch Manning hurt? Is Arch Manning transferring? I don't know that any of the 3 of those things is true right now, but he's also green, coming in, and I've said this before on this pod, with very unrealistic expectations. They'll say let him play. It's not over yet. It's way too early in the season, even much less in his career. It's not over yet. I'll also say that the Longhorn fans have a demonstrated pattern of what my husband lovingly calls BBT, and that is bigger, better things. If things don't go right in the first, little bit of time, like, I might not be the prettiest girl in here, but I'm the only girl talking to you, but you're going to look past me for bigger, better things at the University of Texas with quarterbacks going all the way back to the Vince Young era, or probably earlier than that.
Well, I'd go back farther than that, Tom. You got Major and as they called him, Phil's boy.
Yeah. Yep. As long as I can remember, they've always had a quarterback controversy, no matter who is the quarterback.
I did see the tweet that made me chuckle. I want to sincerely apologize to Steve Sarkisian for ripping him for not playing Arch Manning last year.
He's handled it. He's handled it very graciously. He's still defending the culture, the coachability of the kids. He brought up how difficult it is to play at places like Ohio State and the Swamp. No matter what the Florida record was going into this, they looked like an SEC team, which they are.
Mm-hmm. And so is he generally now again, we talked about this a little before we went on, that when you start number 1 in the country and you move down to where we did find one place where they're ranked, apparently.
Yeah, it's like some Scholastic Junior,
right?
Like high school kids pull
the Rotary Club of Lubbock.
Well, I'll say it again, and you can edit me out, but just like an ugly stripper, there's a pole for everything.
That's
I
factually
completely agree with
correct.
April. I think the expectations were just too high for Arch. I mean, how many plays did he play last year? Hardly any at all, and most of the time that was as a runner. So people are just because he's a Manning doesn't mean he's going to come right in and be the greatest quarterback of all time. So give him this year, maybe next year he'll come back and be a lot different.
Well, remember that when Marshall comes up in 3 or 4 more years, he's in a prep school right now, right? Yeah. That's Peyton's son. So speaking of Peyton, NFL Hall of Famer, let's move to the NFL. April, like I said, what the heck happened in Jacksonville?
I was out of the country. I didn't really get to see the game. I slept a little too hard on the flight. What could you tell me what happened? No, I don't want anyone on this pod to tell me what happened. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to watch. I mean, I think we saw a more exciting Chiefs offense in the game than we've seen in much of the season, and that was cool. Right up until you've got Trevor Lawrence down from his own lineman, and then finding a way to scamper back up and trailing his flowing locks into the that was it was a gut punch. It was a gut punch. They've got to get the penalties under control.
The penalties under control, Keith. What else do they have to do?
Just big mistakes. They're prone to that interception in the red zone. I mean, yes, of course, Mahomes would like to have that pass back, but that's a play he hasn't made in his career. And he would normally just run the ball, throw it away, whatever the case is. But defensively, they got to learn how to make some stops in big situations. And if you look at, I mean, I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but I would venture to say that you're going to see an increase in points per game allowed over the last couple seasons. I think Chris Jones, and again, I'm not a defensive coordinator, but if he's getting double or triple, that's freeing someone else up, and they're just not getting to the quarterback, and they're not plugging the gaps like they should as far as stopping a run game. And I don't know, I can't blame it on who's their defensive coordinator?
Spagnuolo, Steve.
I mean, I love his intensity, and boy, he was just, defensive coordinator of the year for so many different people a few years ago. Now it's an ordinary defense, and they're not going to win with an ordinary offense and an ordinary defense.
Our friends over on the 4040 podcast were talking today about how imagine, so the Chiefs have had this great string of running backs, April, if you go back to Priest and Jamal and all of those guys. And if you would drop one of those guys on this team.
You mean, are you talking about a running back that's tall enough to ride the ride? Because that would be refreshing.
Well, and Pacheco is tall, but he hasn't really been the same since he came back from that broken leg, broken leg. You get a little bit of a flyer on that, I guess.
Yeah, fair point. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think in general, of course, as a Chiefs fan, I'm trying to be objective coming into this pod with professionals like yourselves. But I just have to say, I think the NFL is in shambles. It's in a shambles right now. There are no more undefeated teams. The Eagles went down like a sweet muffin. The Buccaneers are 4-1. I'm just scanning right now. 49ers are 4-1. That's okay. There's plenty of time for them.
How are the 49ers?
It's no sense. I will say, this has been a bizarre year, a bizarre start for the NFL.
Yeah.
Well, and April, go back to your AFC West. I mean, with the Chargers and Chargers and the Broncos. Yeah, the Broncos take down the Eagles, but we just know that the Broncos could lose their next game by 30 points too, because that's the way the Broncos roll.
And the Chiefs who've won the AFC West for the last 1,400 years are third right now. And Chargers beat them. Broncos, I mean, Bo Nix, the man whose entire name takes 5 letters, like that's somebody to be, somebody to be concerned about. Yeah, it's in shambles. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna stay with that.
Yeah, Tom, I still go back to the fact that I couldn't believe when Bo Nix was at Auburn that, I remember when Patrick was there, and it really didn't seem like that long ago.
No, it felt like it was 2 or 3 classes beforehand.
Right.
I still took a good memory of him.
Yeah, way too good. With that, I think NFL is shambles, like pretty much sums up everything. Let's get into Blue Horseshoe's Corner, which is our 5 college games, our 5 pro games. And since Blue Horseshoe, Joe Sperlin is, I failed to mention this at the top of the episode. Joe Sperlin is not on assignment. He is load management, Keith. Since the NBA season is starting, it's load management for Joe tonight. Now, Doug is on assignment. But make no mistake, Doug Lansdowne is on assignment. So, April, with that, would you take us through our college games?
Absolutely. Because of my close proximity to the financial services industry, I am banned from any online gaming platforms. That's not true. I'm just not interested. But I can happily facilitate Joe's Blue Horseshoe Corner. So for college picks.
You reminded me I need to do our disclaimer. These picks are for recreational purposes only and should not be the basis for any gambling. If you believe you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Okay, now, April.
Fabulous. I love that. All right. So we're going to kick it off with Indiana at Oregon. A 7-point favorite for Oregon. Let's go, Ron.
Oregon is possibly the best team in the country right now. Oregon wins and covers.
Woo!
Quack.
All right. What do you think? Tom?
Oregon is going to do to Indiana what Indiana did to Illinois. They're going to win, and they're going to keep pushing. And like I said last week, Lanning will not take its foot off of their throat.
Yeah, statement game for Oregon. Yeah, for sure.
One other thing on Oregon, this is their last ranked team that they play.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Oof, good call. Good call, Tom.
That's the kind of information you come to this podcast for. Good listeners.
You heard it here first. All right, let's move to that Red River rivalry, Oklahoma and Texas, which I think Texas was favored by like 13 last week, and then just a few days later, Texas is
underdog.
1.5. So what do you think, Tom?
I'm going to go with Oklahoma. I think Texas is still going to have some wounds to recover from, so I'm going to take the Sooners in this one.
All righty. How about you, Keith?
Absolutely the same line of thought as Tom over there. Oklahoma covers the 1.5 easily. Texas is just in a little bit of they're just not going to be able to hang with the big dog.
Ron?
Did they rebuild Big Tex after he burned a few years ago?
Absolutely. There was not a glitch in the Big Tex reign of glory at the Texas State Fair. So no.
Yeah. Okay. And what is the signature fried item there? Still the Twinkies, or is there something new that we need to know about?
Oh, let me get back to you on the last call for that.
Okay, please do. Yeah. Oklahoma by a lot. Not close.
Right. Not so fast. I just have to say that. I don't have anything to say to follow it up with other than just like the NFL is in shambles, anything can happen any given Saturday.
True.
It's at home. Anything can happen on your home turf.
Home-ish. Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's shift to South Carolina at LSU. Let's start with Keith.
Yeah, I think LSU is going to have to prove that they can put themselves back on the scoring sheet. I think they're going to cover against South Carolina there. What a bad loss they had.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll have to prove something.
Mm-hmm.
How about Ron, our resident GEAUX Tigers?
The Tigers win, but they do not cover. Nussmeier still has oblique issues, which if you can imagine trying to throw a football with an oblique issue, ow.
It's fine. It's fine. No, not fine.
LSU wins, but does not cover.
Got it. And Tom?
I agree with Ron. LSU will win. They won't cover. It'd be like a 3 or 4 point game.
Got it. Okay. Well, let's go back now, Keith, since you wanted so badly to talk about Ohio State. Let's talk about Ohio State and Illinois. What do you think?
I still have PTSD from that Indiana-Illinois game. And so it's been on my mind for a while. I think
That's fair.
Illinois has no chance. I mean, it could be, I think Illinois maybe scores a field goal, maybe a touchdown, but no more than double-digit points, while Ohio State rolls on and scores 45. It's not even close. Ohio State in a blowout.
What Keith said.
Scoring at will. Okay. Last one, we'll round it out with Alabama at Mizzou, and we'll start with Tom.
Oh,
Mizzou. I can't go any other way. Go Tigers.
Right
go
on.
Tigers. This is their year. This is Mizzou's gonna hit a home run on this one.
Not so fast, my friend.
Yes.
I believe this game, for those of you in the St. Louis area or with any kind of college or NFL memory, I think this is going to be like when the Saints used to play The Greatest Show on Turf, and Jim Haslett tried to slow it down and limit the possessions, and so you've got one team that runs, and then you got another team that's going to just be out there, bing, 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 bing. Alabama, I'm going to actually give a final score.
Woo!
Alabama, 35, Mizzou 27.
Mm-hmm.
Bold words, bold choices. I like it.
Tom, enjoy your siesta as we go to the NFL.
I will.
Let's go to NFL picks. How about we start with Cleveland at Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh favored by 6.5.
This is your 1-4 Cleveland Browns against your 3-1 Pittsburgh Steelers. I cannot see how Pittsburgh can't pull this off by more than a touchdown.
I remain on the Mud Hut Express. I'm telling you, comeback player of the year, Aaron Rodgers, another big game.
All right. I'm going to go with a not so fast and actually have a follow-up. I'm going to go sentimental on this one and go for Cleveland. Yes, Pittsburgh is on a roll. Yes, Aaron Rodgers looks almost like he's back in Green Bay. Still going with Cleveland for absolutely no good reason. You're welcome.
I will say this, April. I saw a stat that they are 4th in the NFL in terms of pass rush per drop back. They will get in your face on defense. So you might be onto something.
It takes one.
And then they will shake your hand and buy you a pierogi. But I still have faith. So how about let's shift to Dallas at Carolina? Go for it, Ron.
I cannot believe this line. I think the Cowboys have looked really good, and I think Carolina has looked catastrophic. 3.5 to me seems like stealing, which is why those casinos are so nice, Keith. I'm still taking Dallas.
I'm still taking Dallas. I just don't see how. Well, Dallas is pumping those points up there. And they seem to have found that offensive rhythm. Yeah, let's do it.
I have no notes on this one. Let's shift to Tennessee at Vegas. Vegas favored 4.5.
Yeah, the battle of 1-4 Titans and the battle and the 1-4 Raiders. Oh my God! I just flipped a coin. Vegas covers.
This could be a tie. No, I'm kidding. It could though.
Ties. I almost called in. To the pod with the tie because I was so feisty about it. But keep going. That's not
Tennessee.
what you're
I think Tennessee has, if not the worst, the most unwatchable offense in the National Football League, and for that reason, I go Vegas at home. Mm-hmm.
That is exactly why I'm picking Tennessee. So So let's move on to San Francisco at Tampa Bay.
Yeah, this could be the game of the week. Battle of two 4-1 teams. It's going to be a great game to watch. Baker Mayfield seems to have a pretty steady control over that offense. I think Tampa covers. San Francisco's hurting. Their lineup just, I mean, they need to hire an extra doctor.
Yeah, they're very injured. And speaking of injuries, Mike Evans, if he completes a practice, he will play. He will be back to assist the Tampa attack. So I'm going Tampa at home. I think that's a big part of it there. Traveling cross country for the Niners.
I'm going with Tampa at home, and not just because George Kittle is way too overexposed on the Little Caesars. I could live the rest of my life without seeing that guy. Period. Hard stop. All right. Our last NFL game is Detroit at Kansas City. No shock. I am going to take Kansas City. Ride or die. There we go. Again, no good reason.
I have Detroit winning. Outright. Hearts with the Chiefs, but this is what I said when they played Baltimore a couple weeks ago, and Kansas City pulled it off. So I think Detroit on the money.
For years, Len Dawson would very calmly look into the camera and say, "I'll take the Chiefs," which is what I'm doing.
Whoa, that just gave me chills. Thank you. Plus, I didn't even mention the Ravens when I talked about the NFL being in shambles, and I'll just...
Oh.
Ooh, that's just, ouch. That hurts.
Yeah.
There you go.
By the way, the one thing that gives me hope tonight as the Dodgers and the Phillies are getting ready to start is, Tom, the Phillies are wearing their throwback 1970s light blue uniforms, their powder blues.
Oh.
So
nice.
if they win tonight, I think they should wear those the rest of the series.
Yeah, they can't go away from them if they win tonight.
Yeah, just saying. April, thank you so much for guiding us through the football action. We are going to take a commercial break, and Sandra Templeoff is going to tell us a little bit about the good folks at First Coast Steel Buildings. When we come back, the St. Louis Blues upcoming season in 20 questions. St. Louis City, Keith, they're finding religion. A little late. All this and more when we come back.
At First Coast Steel Buildings, we stand out by combining cutting-edge engineering with a family-first approach to customer service. Every building is custom designed, ensuring a perfect fit for your location and purpose, while our galvanized steel guarantees durability and resilience. Contact Jason and his team at 912-314-4848 or visit their website at firstcoaststeel.com. From fun to practical to industrial, First Coast will provide a custom solution to any building need. From fun projects like a backyard bar or she shed to an industrial storage unit for your business, First Coast has you covered. Visit their website at stcoaststeel.com or give them a call at 912-314-4848. Discounts for military and first responders.
And we are back on the St. Louis Sportists podcast. I am joined by Tom Mathis, by Keith Farrell, and by April Sechting. My name is Ron Cook. And April, you dutifully checked in on the Texas State Fair situation regarding the food. What do you have for us?
Well, the ones that stood out in my mind, but I knew they weren't that current, were like fried Coca-Cola, a cola flavored batter fried into nuggets with other fun stuff on it, deep fried butter,
Deep fried butter.
pickle balls, which is just fun to say. Pickle balls. There it is. But the actual winner this year for People's Choice, the Best Taste Award for the savory snack, went to crab and mozzarella arancini. So we're getting bougie at the Texas State Fair.
Arancini was one of the last things I would have expected At a state fair. Wow.
Tell me you shouldn't have food at a state fair without telling me you shouldn't have. Yeah, Aaron Genie.
Pretty much. Well, so let's go from that into the upcoming St. Louis Blues season, which begins tomorrow as we are recording this on Wednesday night. The Blues season, and we're not going to talk about the way the season ended. We're just going to go into the 20 questions, April. Save us, please.
Right on. I will do my best. Okay, Blues 20 questions. Here we go. Total points. We're going to start with Tom.
I'm going to say, well, last year the team finished with 96 points. They have a full year with Monty this year, so I'm saying they're going to get 104 points.
104. Nice. Keith, what do you say?
I say 106. And the reason I say 106, because Monty averaged out over 82 games last year, would have put him at 100. And I think they're going to be a smidgen better.
All right. I love the science here. And you, Ron?
Tom stole my 104. That's exactly where I was going. And the one thing that, kind of to go with what Keith said, Shen had a comment in The Athletic where he said, Montgomery hit us with a ton of stuff when he took over. And it kind of took that break for the Four Nations for it to sink in for all of us. And once it did, we all saw what happened after Four Nations. And he said, now that we've had a training camp, we're really looking forward to it. So, yeah, 104. And I think the 104 might be conservative.
Ooh, okay. So we're edging up in Keith's territory now. So does it beg the question then, number 2, playoffs, yes or no? Keith?
Absolutely, yes.
And Ron?
They finished third, yes.
Oh, he's got it all the way out there. Tom?
I'm actually going to say they'll finish second.
Ooh, all right. Optimism reigns supreme. I like it. All right. Number 3, 30 goal scorers this year. We'll start with Ron.
I will say Holloway. I will say Kyrou. And that's it. I think it's going to be a balanced attack, and those will be the only 2.
All right. How about Tom?
I'm going to say 4. I got Thomas, Kyrou, Holloway, and I'm going to say Jake Neighbors rebounds this year and gets 30.
All right. We'll hear a little bit more about him in a few. How about you, Keith?
I've got 3. We're sticking with the Holloway Kyrou combo. I want to add Booch to the equation.
Ooh.
He's overdue.
Well, he should be motivated.
$8 million due.
Should be motivated.
Yeah, well, there's that. Compensation drives behavior. We shall see. All right. How about hat tricks? Tom's turn. Yes.
Last year they had 4 as a team, I believe. I'm going to say they'll get 6.
6. All right, Keith, what say ye?
I'm going to say 3. I see a lot of bounce on this team. I can see this team having 10, 20 goal scorers. But I think that goal scoring can be spread out. So I say 3.
All right. Ron?
I say 3, and I'm going to say that it will be Thomas, it will be Kyrou, and then you've always got that wild card. And since he's done it before, I am going for Walker Australian Ranger to have a hat trick, since he's just funky like that.
That'll be a 92 game somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. All right, so we're on to our plus-minus leader, Ron.
And this is for my lovely wife, Jamie K., who, if you ever meet Jamie K. Cook in person, just very straight-faced, say, by the way, what do you think of the plus-minus stat in hockey? And then prepare for a diatribe, Keith?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Make sure your beer is full.
Yeah. I am going to say, I'm going to go Cam Fowler. I just think that with the pairings, either one of the defenseman he's paired with, I think he's just got a chance to have a really solid year.
I'm going to say Robert Thomas. He's been mentioned for some whispers in the Selke Award. So can't have a poor plus minus and not be whispered for that award. So
true.
This is my guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm going to say that with the full season with the team, that Cam Fowler will also lead the team in plus minus.
I will say if Cam Fowler is leading the team in plus minus. The Blues are going to be well over 100 points.
Yeah.
So I feel like Tom's got a strategy here that is being revealed over time in his own cadence. I love it.
Yep.
So our next category is in-season extensions. Broberg, Holloway. Let's stay with Tom.
Yes, they both get their extensions during the season, and that'll help excite the team and propel them even higher than what we hope.
Nice. How about Keith?
Absolutely and absolutely. They need these guys long term.
Ron?
Broberg first. Holloway is the one that concerns me. I think they get it done with him, but it's going to be late, and we're all going to be like, because I think he's got the chance to be a superstar.
Well, they're controlled though,
right?
But
yeah, it's like they would be susceptible to the dreaded offer sheet.
Yeah,
which is ironic.
There's a few teams.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to my personal favorite because I try to do it at least twice a day. Choosing violence. Who do you think is going to be the leader in fights on the Blues this year? Keith.
Kyle Tucker, toughest guy on the team, tough as nails. He'll fight anybody on the street, on the ice, whatever. So no doubt about it.
We called him Champ Kind last year. Remember?
Yeah.
All right. Ron.
It comes down to Tyler Tucker, who I've got to admit, his story is fantastic because they drafted him at a place where you ordinarily draft organizational depth. In other words, guys that are going to play in the minors with no real chance to make it to the NHL. And last year he became a legitimate defenseman. That being said, I'm back to Walker Australian Ranger, just because, again, he's scrappy.
That's your second reference. That's two. I like it. All right, Tom.
I was thinking Walker, but I'm going to go with my favorite Blue, and that's Braden Shen. He just knows when the team needs a little pick-me-up, when he needs to step in, and he's going to be the guy.
And he looks like an accountant.
He does.
Tom, I'll be honest with you. I hope he does. I hope he's not in a position where he has to spark his team.
I do. I do too. But he does.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you there, Keith. I hope he doesn't have to do that.
You want him on that wall. You need him on that wall. All right, let's go to Thomas points over under 90. Ron.
This is a breakthrough, breakout, break everything year for Robert, don't call me Rob Thomas. He will keep it real or else forget about it and score over 100 points.
Wow.
That was simple, Tom. Can you save us
100 points. Points.
That's bold. That's bold.
He's going over 100.
Love it.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I was like too wrapped up in the lyrical. Wow. Okay.
I will also say he will go over, and I think he will push 100. I'm not sure if he makes it there, but he'll push.
Okay.
Keith, he's got all those snipers to pass too. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I 100%. I think it's going to depend on the power play. Excuse me, and if that power play is in sync, which it should be, he'll get 90 for sure.
Am I supposed to give you points for in sync, or was that just incidental contact? Legit question. All right. Kyrou goals. 35 and a half. Tom.
Which his number last year was 36. So
correct. I think he'll get over 30, but like Keith said earlier, that the scoring is going to be pretty spread out, pretty balanced. So I think he'll get about 34, but I don't think he'll get to 35.
All righty. Keith?
He did play all 82 games last year.
Mm-hmm.
A full year with Holloway. And if the Shinner's on that line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Centering that line, if you got a full year.
Or Suter. They've been bouncing those guys around.
I know about it. I heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard some stuff about Suter, but either one, I think he'll win that 40. This is the year where he's going to topple. It's all about the chemistry. He and Holloway have been saying after practice, they got the mojo, they got the brotherly mojo going. So let's do it.
What he said. I agree with Keith. I'll make it easy.
Not what she said. He said, perfect. Cool. Now we're going to go to my favorite name of the night, Snoogaroo. Can I just sit there? Snoogaroo.
Jimmy. Will Jimmy eat world?
Goals over under 24.5. Keith?
Absolutely. If Thomas is going to be racking up 90 to 100 points, someone's going to be the recipient, and Snuggery is going to be one of the recipients. So yes, Snugs over 25.
Snugs. Okay, Ron?
Yes. Not much, but yes, like 26.
And Tom?
I got him at 27. He's going to spend a lot of time on that first power play unit, so I think he'll benefit from Thomas and some of the other guys on there. So 27.
It's been a good value pick for 15 or wherever we got him. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Snoogs. All right, we'll go to another great hockey name, Dvorsky. Games played over under 23. Ron?
He plays just over 30. And I think he's going to be he'll be the following year what Snoogaroo was this past year. And I know Jimmy didn't get that many games, but still, I say Dvorsky gets 30 games.
All right. Tom?
I agree. He gets about 30, 35 games.
Keith?
I don't know where he's going to get his playing time. The center position is already locked and loaded. So I don't see him getting over, 23 games? I don't see him getting over 23.
Injuries.
Ouch. All right. Holloway goals over under 30.5. Tom?
I think he goes over, but I'll put him right about 32. I don't think he'll get as many as Kyrou, but 31, 32.
I'll have what he's having.
Nice.
He wants a heavy contract. He's going to score some heavy goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think the caveat we would all throw in is, again, if he stays healthy, because he throws himself around like a missile out there. So
I like that new running back on the Chiefs, that Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry, I'm so confused. All right, we're gonna go back to Snugs. Snuggy McSnuggerton. Will he win the Calder Trophy? Keith?
Nope. Maybe a finalist, but he won't win.
All right, Ron?
I don't think he wins. It wouldn't surprise me though if he might be an all-star.
Wow.
Okay.
That'd be nice.
Good call. Tom?
I don't think he'll win, but I do think he'll get some votes, and maybe he'll be a finalist. That'd be great.
Right on. Okay, we are in the home stretch. Empty net goals allowed over under 12.5.
I am going to take the under because I'm an optimist.
And Tom?
If they're going to win, get 104 points, it better be under.
There you go. Keith?
That's my exact reasoning too. If you're going to win as many games as you are, you can't be going in those situations where you're 6-on-5 with a minute to go.
I swear to God, the show that just came on the CW was Law and Order Toronto.
That's a thing.
So
That's a thing. That's all I'm going to say about that. On to number 16.
Projected, just on this, the Blues were projected to have lost 25 games with 104 points.
Right.
So 10 of those are going to be
empty net.
Overtime losses.
Oh, yeah.
Shootout losses.
There you go. Uh-huh.
So you're only going to have a dozen or so chances. So I think they're going to be better than that.
I agree.
I was told there would be no math.
Oh.
Walker hits over under 200.5. Tom?
Last year he finished over. I believe he set the team record for hits in a season. And I started looking, and there was a lot of games he didn't play. So I think he'll easily go over 200 again.
Outstanding, Keith.
This is a hard one for me because he's a spark plug. I mean, and they're going to be winning as many games as they are. He needs to hit smart and he needs to hit early. And he can't be taking any stupid penalties. So I'm going to say a little bit under. But it's, well, yeah, that I'm not going to get to it. But yeah, just a little bit under, but I love the guy's spark, man.
Love your enthusiasm. Tone it down. Okay, Ron, what do you think?
Over, because he's going to play in more games this year than he has any season in his career.
More games, more violence. I like it.
Correct.
Who gets traded? Who gets traded at the trade deadline? Keith?
This is going to tie into an earlier question. If we're having a tough time signing Broberg or Holloway, one of those guys may be.
All right. How about you, Ron?
I am going to say no one from the major or the NHL team. I'm going to say if we trade people, it will be a prospect to shore up something for the stretch run.
So a Dvorsky or something like that.
Stenberg, one of those guys, and we'd have to get quite a return because man, we like those guys. But I think that's where we'd go.
Okay,
and then just will dictate that.
I'm going to go with Justin Falk. I think that the young defenseman, the depth is going to show itself. Logan Mayhew is going to come in and do a really good job, and they're just going to feel that they have a little excess. And Justin Falk, just if he keeps declining like he has in the last few years, I just think that they're going to think he's expendable and get rid of that contract.
That's a good pick, Tom.
Got it. All right. I think we're maybe at our last one. The number of players with 82 games played. Reference, last year there were 3. Kyrou, Shen, and Neighbors. Tom.
I'm going to be a little optimistic here. I'm going to say 5. I'm going to say Parayko. Shen will get the 82. Broberg, Thomas, and Holloway. So health would be a big thing for this team.
If they stay healthy, hashtag. Right. Got it. Keith?
I'll say 6. I won't name names, but I'll say we've got some youth on this team. And so I think those will be the guys that are getting the 82 games, is these 26 and under guys.
And let's round it out with Ron.
I'm going to say 5, and it wouldn't surprise me if someone like Snugerud or it wouldn't, on the defense, Tom, I think you're right on it. I think 55's a good chance for the whole thing, and Broberg too. I mean, so yeah, I'm going to say 5.
I think if you look at tying in games played with those defensive guys, we're going to be wildly successful if we're healthy on that blue line.
Which is such a change from 2 years ago.
I'm just hearing a word, if I could sum up teams, just like a ton of optimism.
Every year.
All the well, yeah. I mean, hope springs eternal.
I'm very optimistic about this team, but I'm even more optimistic about the future after seeing some of the younger guys play and what they have coming up in the next year or two. I think this team's got, built for a 5 or 6 year run.
I'm going to give you one name that's going to kind of sum up where we were last year versus where we are this year. That's Scott Perunovich. Scott Perunovich made this roster as a 7th defenseman last year, and he was just released by the Utah Hockey Club.
Didn't we decide he was the Colby Rasmus of the Blues?
Yeah.
That'd be about right.
The second, this was going to be our up and comer, and he was built in the plants, and he traveled with the team, and and no other team thought enough of him. So that just shows where we're different on our defensive depth this year.
Yeah, much better, much deeper.
I agree. April Throws, thank you so much for being the Blues facilitator with the mostest, which doesn't really make sense, but hey, that's where we are. It's time for the St. Louis City overview. Shockingly, City won for the third time in 4 games. That's right. City won for the third time in 4 games. And all of those wins have come on the road, Keith Farrell. They beat Austin 3-1. And Critchley had a great line that said, "Yeah, I don't want the season to stop." Marcel Hartel scored twice in the first half. He's now tied for the team lead with 9. He also made MLS Team of the Match Day. In the last 5 games, City has allowed just 6 goals, Tom Mathis. Do you believe that? The defense has
6 goals.
come to the fore.
Wow.
In the last 5 games. And most importantly, the win did assure that SC will not finish with the worst record in the league, and also, as important, ahead of Sporting Kansas. So with that, Keith Farrell, you have 90 seconds. Go.
I think I'll need less than 90 seconds, but I'll start off with saying, let's not put those gates and fence markers down Market Street just yet, okay? There is no parade, not even close. Not even flipping close. So who'd we beat? We beat Austin. They're 12, 8, and 12. That's a 500 team. No reason to get the confetti out there. Still nice goals by Hartel. You can see getting scoring from someone other than Klaus is going to be the key to winning this year. So nice to see Becker and Hartel touch that ball. So what do you say about this team this year? They can't close out a game. And why is that? If they're able to close out, we might be talking something different, right? Not anything, but either way, where we at, by the way. But here we're at. So why can't we close out a game? Is it Berkey, defense, coaching, combination of all 3? I don't know. But either way, that's a mental thing. And if you can't come to play, it's no different than hockey. When you're on a 6-on-5, you got to close that game out. If you can't close it out, you're not going to win. So that's where I'm at this year on this team.
Nicely done, sir.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
Oh, one last thing.
Oh, go ahead.
As far as finishing at a Sporting KC, if that's the mentality on this team, it's a sad state of soccer in St. Louis.
That's factually correct. The St. Louis City SC will close out on October 18th. You go into that one? Yeah, we are. Yeah, it's October 18th against, I forget who, but it is. It's Real Salt Lake, correct. So that'll be all of the soccer until February down at Energizer Park. And so now it's time for the last call, brought to you by Black Dog Consulting. Black Dog is here to help the one truck owner and the small fleet owner to grow and prosper. Our buddy Dave Reinhardt has 37 years of experience, 4 million plus miles, flat bed, steep deck, over-dimensional dry vans, and refrigerated units. He's also has experience with dispatch, brokerage, and back office. And the last fleet he managed grew from 1 truck to 5 with a yearly gross revenue of $3.7 million. And if this is the growth that you're looking for, contact Dave at 417-217-9622 or oldblackdog0523@gmail.com. Black Dog Consulting, helping you retrieve bigger profits. Tom Mathis, what do you have for a last call?
There's been some big NHL extensions in the last week or so. Kirill Kaprizov, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, he got 8 years on $136 million. Jack Eichel today, he signed 8 years, $108 million. And the best player in the league, Connor McDavid, 2 years at $25 million for those 2 years. That kind of shows the teamwork that Connor McDavid is about. You know, he's trying to build the team and, give the Oilers some salary cap relief, to get a goalie. I'll say get a goalie.
Man, if they would have traded for Binnington 2 years ago, they might have 2 cups.
They just yep.
So when I told Jamie Kay the McDavid annual total, she just without hesitating said, "So he wants to win."
Exactly. He does. Yep.
April Sechting, what do you have?
Well, I could talk about the one more Chiefs game without Rashee Rice. Where the hell did that car go? But I'm not gonna. how Trevor Lawrence does not have a hair care product endorsement. WTF, but I'm not gonna. I am gonna go with something that combines some of my favorite things: marketing, innovation, carbs, and Taylor Swift. So, in a traditional product marketing, consumer product marketing framework that takes months, if not years, very methodically march out a product strategy, the research, the development, the focus groups, more research, more everything. Pillsbury broke the mold in 6 weeks. On August 28th, Taylor Swift mentioned Funfetti sourdough on the New Heights podcast. 6 weeks later, Pillsbury launched a Funfetti sourdough bread mix, and it's sold out in 39 minutes. I don't care if the product itself is good. The marketing is freaking genius. They did it fast. They did it right. It's Funfetti. Merry Christmas, hallelujah. This is why we're in marketing.
Well, that's why we're the greatest country in the history of the world. My
No
gosh,
comment?
that's
I can't believe
amazing.
comments. Like it's an actual case study.
Oh, it totally is. That is like, you always hear that the Empire State Building was built in some ridiculously short period of time, like 13 months or something silly like that, where it would now take, 5 or 6 years or what. I mean, look at how long look at how long it's taken Mizzou to build that north end zone thing. They built the Empire State Building in less time.
Hey, we're getting there.
That is stunning, April. We're from the government and we're here to help you. April, that is stunning. Thank you so much.
Joyful.
Well, nothing as poetic as that, April, that I've got coming here. Automatic balls and strikes. I am rolling out the red carpet for you for 2026. What happened in that San Diego dugout last week was well deserved, and that you can't have these umpires deciding games when every other sport has the technology to get it right. Baseball has finally said we're going to get it right. Good riddance, crappy umpiring, and that's all I got.
As we've said, the disappointing thing is that Angel Hernandez is not around to have his calls overturned.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I can't go too long without talking about one of my favorite former LSU head coaches, and it turns out that 4 years away has been enough time for Ed Orgeron. Last Wednesday, he was talking to Jacques Doucette. We'll talk about a great Louisiana name, at WAFB in Baton Rouge, and he confirmed that he is seeking out the best situation for him to return to coaching. And as Ed told Jacques, all depends on what the best thing available is. But I'm ready to coach again. I have a little meat on the bone. I'm ready to go. So with that, keep your eye watching for Ed to return to the sidelines. 6, count them 6, and this is before April's news on Belichick. 6 programs are currently open technically. That's Arkansas, Oklahoma State, UCLA, Virginia Tech. They've all fired their coaches already this year, and Kent State and Stanford did it in the off season. So, and that's not to mention, of course, he could come back as a defensive coordinator and be out there recruiting. So watch for Ed to return to the sidelines. Hopefully next. I think the game is better with him. He's one of those guys, Tom. You just think the game's better with him around it.
He just gives you some enthusiasm and some enjoyment out of the process. Yeah, he does make it better. His team might not be better, but
that's a good point. That's a good point. And with that brings to a close another episode of the St. Louis Sportists podcast. We want to thank you all for joining us on this. And if you have a chance to rate or review, that would be really appreciated and helps us out a lot. Tom Mathis, thank you, sir. Oh, yes, and tell two friends. That's... and so on
Happy,
and so on.
Mizzou Alabama game, everybody. Enjoy the game.
Absolutely. April Sechting
Good to be here, guys. Thanks.
and Keith Farrell.
Have a good week.
And we will talk to you next week on the St. Louis Sportists podcast. And until then, take care.
And that wraps another episode of the St. Louis Sportists podcast. Please like and subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest episodes. You can find these guys on all major podcast platforms. And thanks for listening.